guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have a new background. This is definitely not going to be the for sure background. It's probably going to be my bookshelf. I definitely like that more. There's a lot more color, but I wanted to see how I felt about it. So yeah, that's just where this video is going to be taking place. Today, the reason you are here, I'm going to be talking about a few of my favorite YA romance novels. I personally love YA novels because I find myself smiling all the way through and crying depending on what kind of YA novel it is, but most of the time the romances are just tug at my heart, give me butterflies all the way through, which, don't get me wrong, a lot of adult romances that I've read have also made me feel that way, but for some reason I just have a soft spot for YA romances. The first book that I'm recommending is actually the most recent YA romance novel that I've read. I actually finished it this month, and that is As If on Cue by Marissa Cantor. And basically it is a academic rivals to lovers. So if you're like me, academic rivals to lovers has my heart. It's one of my personal favorite tropes, and especially in the enemies to lovers realm subgenre that's under there. The fine arts section gets budget cuts, and her theater group ends up getting cut and they can't do plays anymore. But the band is stayed untouched, and basically in revolt, I think that's the right word, her and Reed end up pranking each other back and forth, which they've done since they were children, and there are rules to that you find out in the book. And one of the pranks end up going very badly, and the two of them end up having to work on a musical together. They have to write a musical and everything to prove that budget needs to be put back into the theater and stuff and everything, but the only way they would let the theater perform is if they created into a musical and incorporated band into it, which that's where Reed comes in. So they have to work together to write a play. It is definitely a slow burn, I would say. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I gave it a 5 stars on Goodreads though, because I was thinking about this book for the week after I read it, because there's this one scene at the end, I'm not gonna spoil it, but oh my god, it's so cute in my head. She did get on my nerves a little bit, I will be honest about that. But other than that, I think the two of them fit together super well. The storyline, I am a huge theater kid. On my shelf, you can't see it right now, but there are playbills at the top. I'm going to see Hamilton in January. I have not seen a book about theater. I have some that mention theater, but I've never actually really read a romance novel with theater in it. And this surrounds musical theater, and there's a time when they, spoilers, go to watch a musical together as research. Oh my god, it's perfect. I highly recommend this, especially if you are more of a fine arts kid. The next book I'm going to recommend is actually the first YA romance that I read this year, and that is All This Time by, I was about to say Simon & Schuster, that's definitely a publishing company, Mickey Daltrey and Rachel Lippincott. The cover is gorgeous. Look, it's so pretty. This YA novel follows Kyle, and Kyle is basically in love with his girlfriend. They're going off to college, and it's the end of the year and basically him and his girlfriend end up getting in this argument, or she confronts him about something, and right after she confronts him, they get in a car crash and she dies. And it's the story of him recovering from that and everything and trying to move on. It's a beautiful story on how to move on, and him realizing that the relationship is not exactly as perfect as he thought it was, and he wasn't as perfect as he thought he was in the relationship, and it's a lot of self-discovery. The plot twist at the end of this book, I did not think that's where that was gonna go at all. It had a lot of imagery, which I loved. I could picture everything super well, like it played out in a movie, and Kyle's character development from the beginning of the book all the way up farther is perfect. And the girl he meets, her name is Marley, who is equally, I'd say equally, or it's not like a competition. The both of them have a lot of trauma, and you find out that she has gone through a lot. They both meet at a cemetery, so that's basically what goes on, and the two of them end up falling in love together, so it's their love story. I would just recommend to go into this more blindly than if you would with other books. I gave this a 5 out of 5. It was so good in my opinion. I really loved it. And I know there were mixed reviews on it, but personally I really liked it. The next book that I'm going to recommend is another academic rivals to lovers. There are 3 academic rivals to lovers in this pile, okay? I think we're seeing a trend. And that is Made in Korea by Sarah Suk. I love this book. I'm gonna say that about like all the books I'm talking about, but I love this book. It was so cute. It was amazing. The boy, Wesley, I absolutely love Wesley. So this follows 2 people, Valerie and Wesley. And I think a reason why I love this book is the premise of their school is so cool to me. The students can make their own small business, and within that it's kind of like competing with each other. And Valerie owns the most popular one, which with her cousin, which is about like Korean beauty and everything. This has Asian representation in it, which absolutely love a good book with Asian representation in it. They're both Korean. She starts selling like Korean beauty and everything, and she's like the top contender and is absolutely like throwing everyone off the game on the leaderboard or everything. Like, she is just at the top, and that's the one thing that she absolutely loves doing. And that is until the new boy Wesley comes up and ends up accidentally selling something to a girl who has a lot of connections, and ends up making his own business because he realizes the money he's making because he wants to go to college for music. And Valerie absolutely hates the fact that Wesley is up here with the competition, because this is the one thing that she excels at, and now she's seen as a threat. And he's very shy, more introverted, and Valerie's definitely like very out there, very outgoing, more spoken to people. She's very good at what she does, and that's very prominent in the book. You can just see how many tabs are in this book. So yes, I give this book a 4 out of 5, not a 5 out of 5, because it wasn't my all-time favorite, but it was very close. Next book I'm going to recommend is a forbidden romance, and that is Tokyo Ever After by Emiko Jean. This is the first time I read a bodyguard romance. It was super cute. However, I will say, if you want to go in this expecting just a romance, don't read this book, because it definitely is a lot also more on self-discovery and everything like that. While I did also love the romance in this book too, and I know this is why romance is, I still wanted to include it because it's a very good book. In this book, you follow Izumi, people call her Izzy. She lives in America and people call her Izzy. Within her story, she only has a mother, finding out accidentally that she is actually the, not long lost, but she is the crown princess of Japan, because her father's crown prince and she's the rightful heir and everything. So basically she ends up going to Japan to go meet her father, all of the life out there, and she finds out maybe I can be included now. She didn't feel like she was American enough to be accepted in America, so she thought going to her Japanese roots she will fit in a lot more, and come to find out she feels like she's too American to fit in with her Japanese royal family. I definitely love the self-discovery in this book. I hated 2 specific characters, and the betrayal from one other character hurt my heart. I love the main character, the bodyguard also. This is definitely more grumpy Sunshine. The bodyguard is definitely grumpy and she's definitely Sunshine, and the 2 of them share a lot of cute moments together. I recommend this book a lot. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I finished it in like 2 days, I don't remember, but I finished it in a couple of days. I'm so sorry if these summaries are really bad. I have a very hard time just coherently explaining a book, but I'm trying my best because I absolutely love making these videos. So the next book I'm going to talk about is The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Oh, I can't say that. Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book, I cried in this book. It's a childhood friends to lovers. Like, he was her protector. They were at a foster care system. He protected her when they were in an abusive household and everything. Something bad happens and the 2 of them end up splitting ways and not being in contact for years. I think it's 4 years. Her name is Mallory. She finally was in a good household, got a lot of therapy, including speech therapy and everything, because she has trouble talking to people. but she is homeschooled because she has a lot of trauma and a lot of anxiety around people and everything. She finally agrees that for her last year, she wants to go to a high school, like a public school, and her parents allow her. And when she goes, she ends up bumping into Ryder, which is the boy who protected her and was like her main source of light in the abusive household that they both were in. And the two of them rekindle their friendship, and that ends up blooming into a relationship. If you are expecting just a happy, wholesome, cute, fluffy romance, don't read this book because it made me cry. There are like 2 specific moments that made me so sad that happened in this book. I am not going to spoil it, but just be prepared to have your heart ripped out of your chest, basically. The last book is my all-time favorite book. You probably heard me say this in my last video, and that is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow by Rachel Lynn Solomon. If you can't tell, I really like this book. I really like this book. This is my absolute all-time favorite book in the entire universe. I could not read a book for like 10 days or like almost 2 weeks because of this book. I was in the biggest reading slump. I had a book hangover from this book. This takes place in one day. It's their senior year and it's academic rivals to lovers. You follow Neil and Rowan. This is another book that has Jewish representation, which you will find in a lot of Rachel Lynn Solomon's books. A lot of them is Jewish representation. It's their senior year and have been constantly competing since freshman year, back and forth over who would win this, who would win that, who was at the top of their class, student council, all stuff like that. And at the end of the year, it was who was gonna get valedictorian. And it ended up being Neil. Rowan is very upset over this because she's like, this was the last thing I could have done to beat him our senior year, and then I'd never have to see him again. Every year for the seniors, the juniors plan a citywide, it's like a scavenger hunt that you have to travel around and find stuff. The winner of that wins $5,000, and Rowan believes that if she beats Neil, this will be the last thing and she will be like the all-time winner of their feud, but she wants it to be fair. She decides that they're gonna partner up, and then towards the end, it's just gonna be full out like brawl. Like they're gonna fight for the winning spot. And within that, they end up learning a lot about each other and everything. And it's just so cute. I love Neil with all of my heart. Oh my god, he's so cute. He's a redhead, everything. The storyline between Neil's home life too is very heartbreaking when Rowan finds all of that out as well. This book is just amazing. I love the banter between the two of them. Something I realized about Rachel Lynn Solomon's writing is I absolutely fall in love with the banter between 2 characters all of the time. Every single time I fall in love with them. The reason Rachel Lynn Solomon is probably my favorite author is because the way she can write the chemistry between 2 characters is just so raw, and it's so realistic and believable, and you will always fall for the 2 of them and root for the 2 of them at the end of the story. Please, if you were to get only 1 book from this entire pile, please get Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. This is my biggest recommendation. I highly recommend it. I don't think I need to clarify that this was a 100% 5 out of 5 for me. So that was my recommendation video for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment down some other recommendations or some video ideas just in general. And also subscribe because that would be pretty great. I will see you next time. Bye!